My name's Marybeth. I'm one of the Coast Guard mentors.
And I'm Krysti, and I'm the other Coast Guard mentor.
And we're here to talk about us today and how we joined MSAN and just a couple questions. So thank you for joining me, Krysti.
Absolutely.
So I guess I'll go ahead and start. So how did you hear about MSAN and what made you decide to join?
I actually saw a Facebook post that said that there was this advocacy network, and I was like, "Ooh, what is this? I'm not part of it yet." And I went in. I didn't even look at what it was. I was like, "Yes, sign up." And it's like, "Do you want to be a mentor?" And I was like, "Absolutely." I don't know, but I'm gonna sign up and do it, right? It's one of those things where I believe it's so important to share the information that we have as military spouses to other military spouses. And so, it really didn't what matter. Maybe this is bad to say, and they'll cut this out. But it didn't matter what the organization was. It was the opportunity to get the information out to other military spouses so that they would have a better experience than I had when starting out 25 years ago. There weren't resources. I didn't feel like there were people to ask the questions. And they're not all hard questions. Some of them are, how do I figure out when the commissary is open, right? Without having to drive there. And so those kind of things, just being able to create that network of people who have the answers. And so I went through the whole process of interviewing to become a mentor, and they were like, yeah. Hopefully they haven't regretted it.
No.
Love what I do, right? I love sharing the information, but it has also made me realize how little I still know. And so I love all of the learning that also happens from interacting with the other mentors and mentees and just members of MSAN.
Wow. Great answer. So I actually joined by a quick Google search. I had never heard of MSAN before, and gosh, wow. I feel like my whole world has been, it's very eye-opening. I'm so glad there's resources like we have, and all of the wonderful team and just all the people that decide to join. I feel like there's a reason, they joined. So of course I was your mentee, which made it really unique. And I think, I just learned a lot from you, and it really was inspiring to me. So I just decided, you know what, I'm going to move on and I'm going to try to be a mentor. And here we are.
Which is a great way to give back, right? Like, you were in a situation where you asked all the questions, and now you get to pass that information along to the next person who needs to know, and has been in the what I feel is a unique situation to you, right? Like, you were in a specific spot in your life and you needed answers to those that season. And so not everybody has the experiences that you have. So the fact that you have those answers and those experiences you can share, I think makes you even more valuable.
Oh, thank you. What impact has our mentor-mentee relationship had on your Milspouse life?
I think it just created a friendship, right? I think that's the biggest thing. I didn't know a lot about the things that you were asking to be mentored on. And so I actually had to go and research and ask questions, and which also made me reach out to active duty members and say, hey, what's going on here? These are situations that aren't being handled for the families. How do we fix it? Which then that was a whole light bulb moment for them. What do you mean these are issues, right? And so being able to bring that information to them as well. But I think the biggest thing I got out of it is the friendship that you and I now have and continue to have, even though you're no longer my mentee.
Yes, I agree. And having the support, I think you've been such a wonderful support system. Even though, we haven't met in person yet, we will. I am trying so hard. I was like, okay, we're in the same state. We will meet. That's the goal.
How do you think that you have best been impacted by having a mentor?
I think having that, even though you weren't, physically there, I think having that support of knowing that you're there, I can communicate to you. I know, we were on opposite sides of the country. It didn't matter. I just made sure to communicate with you when you were awake. And I was like, okay, time difference, 3 hours, got it. So, that's the beauty of MSAN, right? We have all these folks all over the world, and it's really incredible. And I know for Coast Guard, of course, we're more stateside, but I think just again, trying to have knowing that there is somebody on the other side that does care there,
Right.
and that's what, this whole, it's really, really shows. So, how about yourself?
Yeah, I think that it's I just love imparting the information, and I love having to find the information for the things that I don't know, right? Because then that just expands my knowledge. And then it's so much more than what I'm sharing with you. Because then when I go to other activities with other military spouses, whether it's coffee or, event at the USO or whatever, just
Mhm.
having everyday conversations, and those questions come up again, and I
Mhm.
don't have to go and research it. I now know, and I can pass that along to other people. So it's expanded to more than just you, right?
Mhm.
It's the giving that keeps on giving.
Right. Yes, definitely. It creates that sense of community.
Yes. What about you? You're a new mentor. Like, what have you loved so far about this?
Well, I've had one long-term mentee, and so I feel like she's kind of been on this journey with me, and we're kind of learning together, which is great. At first, we started kind of talking pretty regularly, and then we branched to, I'll check in with her once a month. And I think that's been working really well, especially, she was here in Virginia and then they moved. She's like, okay, we're going through PCS. And I'm, oh boy, okay. And so it's kind of, again, we PCS. So it was almost like, okay, we're learning, what do we need, what resources can I help you with? And, I think, again, she's noticed because the Coast Guard community is so small. And so it's like, okay, we really have to lean on each other for, how can I help you best and how can I
Right.
lead you? And I've encouraged her how, okay, make sure can you try to connect with other spouses that are close, close to you? And if not, are there, volunteer opportunities? Or I have encouraged her about MSAN too. If she'd want to jump to the mentor side as well. But yeah, she's really leaned on her family too. So she'll go see her family for, maybe 3 months at a time or so. And she's very close with them. So now I have three more mentees. So I'm trying to get to know them. And again, it's that researching. So I think I'm with you on that one. Oh my gosh, why do you feel mentorship is important, especially for new spouses? Oh, well, I feel like we just wrapped it up in a bow, didn't we?
Yeah, I think it comes back around to knowledge, right? The more you know, the more comfortable you are with the military lifestyle.
Mhm.
And um, the more resources you have, the more likely you are to go out and engage with other local spouses as well.
Mhm.
And because then it's not as scary
Mhm.
when you kind of have somebody saying, "Hey, yeah, I did that event. I went to that. That was the coolest thing." And
Mhm.
oh, I met my tribe by doing this, right? And so it's
Mhm.
easier for you to step out of
Mhm.
your comfort zone,
Mhm.
knowing that somebody else has already been there and done that. And I think
Mhm.
that the mentor-mentee relationship just kind of helps that grow.
Mhm. Absolutely. Yeah, I think, I'm so introverted. So it's and I have to be forced out of my box, if you will. And so I think anyone who may be in my shoes as well, I encourage them to definitely get outside of your comfort bubble. It's really, really important, especially for new spouses, because when you're a new spouse, there's so much coming at you and a
Right.
lot of emotions, and you're trying to just kind of sort through it all. And so I think, again, coming and they're able to come here, and MSAN, I'm like, okay, come on in, join us. We're all different branches, and that's okay. We're learning about other branches as well. But I think just knowing, we could have somebody across the world, and they're online, and oh, you can reach out to that person. That's so important,
Right.
knowing that someone is there. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think in a world where the member isn't always bringing home the information, to
Mhm.
have a network of people who you can ask those questions
Mhm.
of is just an amazing resource, right?